G'day and welcome to Cherry Tree Gaming. I'm William J, and welcome back to a little bit of behind the scenes. This is the second half of that OBS tutorial where I'll show you how I edit everything out and all that jazz. This is where I show you how to overlap the footage and all that jazz and separate everything, make everything be awesome, essentially. The next part is to open up Adobe Premiere, and this is where we create a new project and all that fun jazz. I'm assuming you got a little bit of knowledge about Adobe Premiere, but I'm going to run through step by step anyway. So I'm going to create a new project. I'm just going to call this OBS toot. What do we call it? OBS toot. Sonic. I'll just do some Sonic footage, man. I'll just grab some old Sonic footage, I reckon. I'm just going to go there, go footage, OBS toot. Click here. Click OK. Here we go. So everything's all open up in Adobe Premiere. This might be a little bit laggy because for whatever reason, because I'm using my graphics card as well to record this. So the first thing is I'll just go Control N. That will create a new scene. So I can go new sequence there. If you want to go File, New Sequence, or just press Control N. There we go. I've got a custom one here that I'll use as YouTube 1080. It just has the time base of 60 frames and a few other things there. Yeah, I had to like hunt down through all these, man, to find a 60 frame per second sequence. So I just made my own custom one there. You can usually save a sequence as like a new preset by down here when you go settings. But yeah, so I'm going to open that one up. I just leave them as sequence one, doesn't really matter. Now, this is where things get a little bit interesting. So I'm going to open something like this here. Recordings, footage. I got one of my old Sonic Mania stuff here. So if we just go Windows left, nope, there we go. Windows left. We're gonna have this here. There we go. I usually have this across multiple screens, but we're only recording one screen right now. So I'm gonna go to one of my older ones, like probably the first one I've done already. There's a lot of files here that you probably could just ignore right now. This would be the one that I recorded from OBS. See the file size there? 20 flipping gig. That's huge, man. This was like I don't even remember how long this session went for. 1 hour. 1 hour, 20 gig. Like, that is huge. Huge, man. But what you want to do is you want to just drag and drop it in. This is how I usually do it. So, and as you can see, you've got 3 audio tracks there as well. Once you drop it in, you get clip mismatch warning. The clip settings does not match the sequence settings. Change sequence settings to match the clip settings. No, this is where you go keep existing settings. Because if you change it, it will change the resolution of your sequence to 3840 by 1080. That's not what we want at all. You can always uncheck the always ask, but I like it just there just in case I ever do want to actually do it. If you go keep existing settings, we'll dump that in there. That's the first part done. Here we go. Now, I have a pretty beefy machine, but for whatever reason, I can never, ever, ever overlap this footage from here. I have to render out the cam side of the footage. Then everything's a lot smoother during the editing process. Don't know if it's because of my graphics card or I'm using mechanical hard drive or whatever reason. Could be because the quality of the video is so big in gigabytes. But I'll just wait for this to conform, and while we wait for this to conform, I'll show you how to do a few things. So what we want to do here is we actually want to grab a copy of this whole sequence and put it into a new one. So what we want to do here is right click and go unlink. Right now they're all linked together, but now we can actually click through the footage. So what I usually like to do is I actually like to match my cam with the cam audio. I know the cam audio is track 3. I'm just going to hold shift and click this here. Control C. We'll copy that and then I'll make a new sequence. New sequence. Cam. I'm just going to call this cam. It's very basic. And then I'm going to Control V to paste it in. There we go. I'll just give you some shortcut keys here anyway. But if we just click anywhere here, see how it's like in the middle, because we've got like a 3840 canvas, but we put it in the middle because of the 1920 or 1080 resolution that we have in the sequence here. And this is where some math comes into it. The thing you want to play with is the anchor point for just this cam part here. Half of the 1920 is 960. So if we go 960 in here, you got your cam. That's in the anchor point, not the position. The anchor point. That's what we want there. Boom. So now once this conforms out, we can render out this cam. I'll just briefly show you how to do that. So just pretend that this is conformed right now. You have to wait for it to conform or the audio won't actually come through the sequence. It's almost conformed anyway, but like, anyway, we can just pretend that we're doing this. So we go Control M. Well, if we click on the actual sequence, Control M, and then we get, so that like the very first one that you will get when you open it up is this H.264 and match high bitrate. If you don't get that, click the format, go to H.264, and then go preset, match source high bitrate. We'd actually just want to match the bitrate of the video, so just match the source at a high bitrate. And then you just export that out to wherever you want to export it to. And then Bob's your uncle. Boom, done. We've got our camera. That sometimes can take an hour, depending on how good your PC is. So I would usually do this straight after recording session, because once I've done a recording session, I'm exhausted. I just want to move on. So once you've done that part, just export it. Yo, Bob's your uncle. Sweet. There we go. So now the other thing you want to do is grab your mic audio, which is this second one here. Copy that. New. I'll just call it audio. Just make this real simple. Control V. Because you actually want, I actually edit my audio. I make it cleaner and all that. I'm going to run through that in a moment with you. So you're going to export your audio as well. So Control M again. Boom. Now we want to change, we don't actually want video in this one. So what we want to do is go format. We want to go to waveform audio. 48 kilohertz. That's what we want. And then we scroll down because there's a couple settings here that we want to change. Sample size of 32-bit float. This is just the settings that I noticed that Adobe Audition does by default. This one is a lot quicker. Once you click export, it'll be done like in a second. No, say it'd be like a minute. This one's a lot quicker. So if you accidentally like forget to do this, whatever, I would actually put this in a queue. So like I would queue this up with the other thing that run overnight. And click cancel on that because I've already done this. I've already cooking showed a few things here. So once that's exported, my next step here is actually open up Adobe Audition. So I'm just going to open that up right now. If it will let me spell it right. There we go. So I've run through my presets before, but things have changed a little bit here. So I'm just going to open this up. Go open. Go footage. Sonic Media. Find the one that we're actually looking at here. So the audio that I would have actually rendered out would have been called Sonic Mania OBS 2112. There's another one here, 2112.wave. I actually record another audio stream for Audition. It's probably not necessary, but I just do that as an overkill. But the OBS one is the one that would have been from OBS. So that's the one that we would have rendered out just then, but I've quickly showed this a little bit. So I'm going to open that up. And this is our little audio track here. So if we play anything along around here, say around here. Why not get another bloody Switch game? It's pretty
I love
soft.
my Switch. I barely ever use it outside of its dock.
But that's just me talking there.
Oh man,
So I've got a preset here that I've made called Cherry Pod with noise reduction. Sorry about that noise there. I'm going to open this up and actually show you how I run through this. So I've got a thing called adaptive noise reduction. That's actually in noise reduction restoration. Adaptive noise reduction. I'm going to open this one up. This is my custom level here. I think it was actually just the light noise reduction. Yeah, it is. This one definitely reduces noise. I put this one first to get some of the fan noise from my PC out. It actually works pretty well. Cleans that up a lot. The next one is a dynamics processing, but it's actually just a noise gate. Because my mic is so soft usually, man, I have that reduction around about -70. That gets my breathing out of the audio. So, and the way that the effects rack works is like it goes 1, 2, 3, it works down. FTT filter. I think this one was just which one is this one? Is it a DSR? No, it wasn't a DSR. Kill the mic rumble. That'd be the one. This one just gets some of the pops out when I go pah. Even though I have a pop filter on here, like a windshield, this just helps get some of those extra explosions out. So I'm going to off that one. And this is the magical one. This is my dynamics processing rack or compressor, dynamics compressor. This actually makes my lows medium and my highs medium. It keeps it at a medium level. So it's like when I like scream, it brings it down. When I'm soft, it brings it up. I actually stole this from the Game Grumps and adapted it a little bit to my voice. So there we go on that one. And then last but not least is my Paramedic Equalizer. This is just my equalizer. Like this is like my EQ. This is how I make my voice sound a bit more bassy and all that kind of stuff. By no means is this the best way to edit your audio. It's probably completely wrong. I am self-taught, but this works for me. I'm always constantly trying to work on my audio and all that kind of stuff. So this changes wildly. Last time I did a video, I had like 3 presets here. But yeah, once that's all done, I click apply and this applies the whole rack. And now that's all applied, you can see that everything's been squashed down. See, everything is a bit more even. If we just click play in another area, so around a bit here.
Mate, what are you doing?
It's a bit more
no,
cleaner.
no, my friend.
So that's awesome. But the levels are still a little bit too low. So I'll do a thing called normalization. If you go effects, amplify and compression, normalize all the channels equal to -1. This is pretty quick. Things are way later.
Yeah, there we go. Suck
louder.
that.
Yeah. So after that, I would go Control-Shift-S, save as, not save, because you don't want to overwrite the same file. And I usually just add like a DP on the end, dynamics processing. I'd save that into the same folder. That'll be all done, but because I've cooking showed this already, I'm going to cross that off and click no. I don't want to do anything about that. So if we go back, open up our folder, we've got one here called OBS DP. All right, so the next part is adding everything together. So if we go to sequence 01 here, this is where things get super interesting. So I'm going to move this this video up to V2 because I actually put a border around everything. I'm going to add my cam in. So cam 1 right here. This would be the cam file that I had. And put that up there. All right, let's try to add that again. All right, so all we want to do is just add this in. There we go. While that conforms, see how my cam is in all, like now it's just the cam instead of having both side by side. So this is just the cam, and that rendered out was 5 gigs, so still bloody huge file size. We're gonna just drag this in and overlap that last audio there because that's actually the cam audio. There we go. So boom, Bob's your uncle. We also want to delete this second track here because that is our mic audio, but we don't need that anymore because we've actually edited that audio. I drag this generally down to track 2. And then here we go. We're going to drag in the DP sonic here of the OBS. So here we go. All right, while that all conforms and all that, I'm going to add one more thing here, and that is in my media, borders. Here we go, because I add a border to everything. I'm actually thinking about getting rid of it sooner or later, but I'm not too sure. I like it from a branding point of view, but I'm not 100% sure if I want to keep it. So if you hover over something as well, you get this like 3 little like a little triangle thing. If you hold that and drag it, it extends it out. And everything locks. If things don't lock, it's probably because that this magnetic thing is not there. If you press S, that was D, Bill. If you press S, you can activate and reactivate it. Yeah, so that's everything all conformed and all together. And this is where we do some of the magic here. First things first is what I would probably do would be actually disappear this for a second. So if I click the little eye, it makes it go away. I'll click the good old this would be our game footage. And this is where a bit more of that math comes into it. So the anchor point for the footage on the right is 2880. There we go. And that would center that completely there. But we also, because we're actually, because I have that border there, I usually scale things down to 97. You can see on a little bit of the side there that I've got some of that cam footage still there. To get rid of that, I crop that out. So if we go crop and drag this into there, left, 50% of the footage, and it will be gone. There we go. Now we can put our camera back on top. So do that. Now I use a green screen. I'm going to go through that with you right now on how to get rid of the green. It's just called Ultra Key. It's a keying thing. I'll use this over the chroma key that they have. So if I drag this in here, am I on the right one? No, I'm not. That's the wrong one. I need to drag that on top of this. Boom, Ultra Key. Now, you got the little key color here, so you can actually choose anything you want. But we're going to choose the green screen. So I'm going to choose it around here. Boom. There we go. See how it's got some of the fogginess and all that kind of stuff there? This is where you'd use the matte generation and change a few settings here. But I'm actually going to delete that because I can't remember what my settings are actually called. Because I've actually got a preset here, underneath here, for my green screen, chroma green. There we go. So I'm going to go run through the settings here with you. So transparency is 40, highlight is 0. This is probably completely wrong because I've just got my green screen, so I've just been fiddling around with settings and all that until things look right. You can even see down the bottom, I've still got some of the shadow and stuff like that. I probably didn't lit up the green screen enough for this footage, but that's fine. That's another thing with green screens. You need to light them, flip up. They need to be super bright and vibrant or they don't work very well. But I found that with the key color, it's better to do it down below than the lighter colors. The darker the green is down the below, it's easy to get rid of for all of it. So I picked it around my like arm length there, and then these are the settings I use. You just have to play around with this till it becomes right. So 40 for the transparency, highlight 0, shadow 70, tolerance is 50, pedestal is 100, and the matte cleanup's 25, 25, 100. I kept the spill suppression and color correction all default. And there we go. That would be that. But that's not all I do because I actually want to not have those sides there. So I just type in crop again. I'm going to crop out a lot of things. So from the left, I usually just crop this until I actually get to the footage. So about there. And then I'm going to crop this one out to the right. So from the right to about there. And I'm actually just going to get rid of that shadow completely because I actually like to come to a little bit like about my nips. That's where I usually like to have my my base from. And Sonic, most of the data is on the left side of the screen. So we're going to actually flip this around. That's a horizontal flip in the effect controls here. Horizontal flip it. There we go. There I am. I'm a bit too large for the screen. So I'm scale this down to 35. That's how big I usually like me. So I'm going to just drag this down to the bottom in the positioning. So if you hover over the positioning, you can just go up and down with your mouse. You can enter it manually if you want. I'm just going to take this to the side. There we are. I'm in there. Now, if we click play, things are going to be way out of whack with audio.
G'day and welcome to Cherry Chip Gaming. I'm William.
Yeah, they can hear me. Game music is way too high. So this is where I do some of my audio stuff. If I do the audio in this will edit it for the rest of this will just edit it for this sequence. Every time you add something to a new sequence, it resets all the audio. But I'm gonna guess. So track audio 2 is my game audio. So that's I'm gonna say that's about -20. It varies between game to game. Now if I press play.
Welcome to Sonic Mania. This is a game I've been meaning to play for a very long time since.
We also still have our audio from our cam in there, so I'm just gonna mute that. I only ever have that there just as a backup.
Come out, but I just play games for the channel these days, so pretty
That sounds a lot better, like a lot more even. Um, One more thing that you want to check with all this, man, is seeing if things are in sync. Um, because sometimes things drift out. I haven't had that problem with this method. This is why I use this method. By George, is it amazing that everything's in sync all the time? I'm just gonna skip to the middle because that's where things usually get out of sync. And then I'm gonna press tilde on the keyboard, make this full screen. And the coloring of me is a bit out as well, so I might just change that a little bit. But I'm gonna press play. And just look at my face. Actually, we're on half quality. I'm gonna go to full.
Nope. Well, we're just gonna go through here anyway. Let's do one of these again, man. We haven't done these in a while. I'm gonna stuff it out straight away.
Everything seems to be in sync. Everything seems to be in sync. If it wasn't in sync, I do this little method called time syncs. I actually have this on an older video. I'm just not gonna. I might run through it with you right now. So I actually use analog paper to keep track of episodes and all that kind of stuff. I do a 2-hour recording session, but I actually split episodes within that recording session. It's pretty easy. So I'm gonna pop up the timesheet now, and you can see that I've got like episode 1, 2, 3, 4 here for this Sonic Mania. So yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, and as you can see, I've got a sync at the start called 135. So if we go to 135, and the time corresponds with the OBS timing. So if we go to 135, I'm gonna say I'm doing it around about here.
Alright, here we go, Bill. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2.
Yep.
1, 2.
See that, man? It's all pretty like it's all in sync.
2,
and then
3.
And that's me clapping. So that's me clapping for the camera. The first one is to sync up the 1, 2, 3s with my mic audio. And then I do another one at the end as well. This is just because if things drift out of space, man, you can stretch it to match everything up. I'll show you how to do that, like, pretty easily. So the last one would be around about here, I'd say.
Go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
There we go. But yeah, so what I would do is like say like if that clap didn't, I'm just gonna do a brief one for you, but it's more detailed. Link in description if you are having things drift out. So say my clap right here,
Here. 3.
like it's slightly out of sync actually. So I'll actually run through this. Ready? So see that like clap there? That's my clap audio. So if you hold Alt and scroll in, but like it's so slight out, man, that you won't even notice it really. So I'm gonna just mark that. So that's C to cut. And there we go. And then if we go to the camera, there we go. There's where my claps actually hit. So I'm gonna mark that one there. So if you go R for rate stretch and actually drag that back, that will actually have the clap in sync now. See that? I'm gonna click V to go back to my mouse and then delete to bring that together. So if we go like, this is just rate stretched it slightly. So very slightly.
3.
And then if we go like here, it's like properly in sync now. So it's slightly drifted, very ever slightly, but I barely ever notice it in recording. And then the other one that you want to do, so that's synced up our camera, but we don't actually want to sync up the footage now as well. So if we play this again.
1, 2, 3.
No, that's the wrong one. The one that we're looking at is here.
2, 1, 2, 3.
So see that right there on the last 3. So what we want to do there is just mark the 3.
3.
And then if we scroll back, the moment it moves across there, see that? We want to mark that there. This is just the menu beat. So we're going to mark that one there.
2, 3. 2, 3. 2, 3.
So we actually want to rate stretch this forward for some reason. I don't know why, but whatever. Yeah, I think. Yeah, we will. So if we go like that, make sure it's that there.
1, 2, 3.
Like I'm saying,
1,
like
2,
it
3.
is slightly like out of sync between
1,
it,
2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
and that would sync everything up, like 100%. You do the same for the beginning as well. Just make sure that was all in sync. But as I said, like I digress on all that. I was gonna actually Control Z all that because we don't actually need that to be done because it's so slightly out of like milliseconds out of sync that you won't even notice it. Um, so after that, this is where I go back to my timesheet, look at the episodes, and mark episodes. So actually, one thing that we was going to talk about is my color. So there's another effect that we can use that is called fast color correction. So if you go to effects up here and go, just type in fast color corrector. I'm going to dump this on the camera. I'm going to just change us a little bit. So I'm a bit too pale. I'm just going to drag this towards the orange. And, oh wait, no, that's the wrong one. I dumped this in the wrong sequence again. So if we're going to go down here and we're going to just drag this up to the orange. See how I'm becoming orange now? The one that we want to just mess with is the angle. No, not the angle. The gain. So if the gain's all the way out the top, we're going to become completely orange. One's there. And the magnitude, we can mess around with as well. It's just like, this is just like just messing around finicky. Just maybe saturate it a little bit. So say like 110. Getting a little bit more color to me. Probably 126. That looks a bit better. You can mess around with that forever, man, until you feel like comfortable with how you're colored. So that will edit all that. Now, if we go back to our timesheet, you can see on Ep1, like episode 1, we've got 3 minutes to 14:13. So if we go to 3 minutes, I can actually see it in the audio because I've been a bit silent before I started. It's probably setting out things. 3:10, pretty close. Doing my wave already. So if I press C and then hold Shift, I can cut everything at once. Cut it all at once, mark that.
G'day and welcome to Cherry Chick Gaming.
There we go. There's that part done. And then we're going to go scroll all the way up to 14. You can see it when I end around about here. I must have taken a little bit of break in between episodes. So I'm just going to play this.
As always, thank you, lads and lasses, for watching.
There we go. That's good enough. I'm going to mark that. Hold, like C, then hold Shift, mark everything. V, and then I drag down and all through that. And then I just copy this out. I never cut anything out. Copy it. Control N for new sequence. We're going to call this Sonic Mania 1. Because this is the first episode in the series. Boom. Now I can press Control V. Done. Woohoo. Episode's done, right? No. This is where we have to edit some of the audio and all that kind of stuff. So we said before it was -20 was a good thing. We actually get rid of the audio track 3 now because we actually don't need the camera. That's linked together, so we're going to unlink that. I press delete. There we go. That was right click unlink. There we go. We've got all that done. -30 for my end screen slate. I usually just copy that from previous episodes and all that jazz. I'll show you that at the end. So now, if we tilde that, go full screen.
G'day and welcome to Cherry Chick Gaming. I'm William J and welcome to Sonic Mania. This is a game I've been meaning to play for a
Got more
very
color
long
to my
time
face now
since it's
before
come out,
as well.
but
Like if you look at the difference between the color, I wonder if we can actually turn that off. I'm pretty sure we can. So if we go down to balance here, get rid of the fast color correction. A bit white, a bit too like grayish there. And then if we go back into it, got color on my face. There we go. So without it, I look like that. With it, I look like that. Bit more color on my face. There we go. Bit more of orange.
I just play games for the channel these days, so
I would watch through this once. All right, and then mark areas where I want to like cut things out or like it's a bit too dull. So I'll press like M to mark things. So around about there.
Oh man, the music's funky as.
And then I would like cut things out, remove things. So say if I cut a whole section out, so like say here, Control C, like C, then Shift, then cut that out. Boom. I've just shown you a couple of the effects. This is just me just like butchering things. So if I scroll back into here and be like, all right, I'm here.
Okay, so we can.
And then we'll cut away to something
Adjust
else.
for that.
See that? Very jarring. There's an effect called cross dissolve. Actually makes things go between each other very nice. So you just have to drag the effect in. We scroll through, you can see the cross dissolve there. But I do it on both footages. So like that, so the camera and the game footage. So if we go through this,
Adjust for that.
it dissolves it away. So I would watch through that, do some editing and all that kind of stuff, and Bob's your uncle, make sure things are in sync. The next part would be my end screen slate. So I'm just going to save this for now. I'm going to close down the project and open up another one. So I'm going to close this. You can go Control Shift W for that. I'm going to open up, say like this PUBG tutorial, this PUBG episodes that I've been doing. This is my end screen slate here. I'm just going to copy that. Go open recent. Go actually close this. They changed it so you can open up multiple projects now. So I have to constantly close them. So I'm not used to it yet. No, that's the wrong one. Oh man. I go OBS 2, Sonic. Then I would just paste this in here. This would be an old like end screen. Like from a previous episode. So I'm just going to pretend that this doesn't exist. This is my little end screen state. So -30 is where I like my audio to be for the end screen music.
Content. As always, thank you.
Which I didn't do because that is far too loud. Oh, I accidentally put it on negative. I accidentally put it on audio 4.
And lessons for watching.
That's my end screen slate, but I actually like to put a video there. That's why I got the arrow. So what we do is now I will just make a new sequence called highlights. And then I'll just dump a random video in. Quick access. Do we have any recent Sonics? Sonic 3. It's a bit meta because this is the episode beyond the one I'm editing. This would usually conform pretty quickly. Then I would scroll in here, find like a good chunky section, man, of like a lot of audio. So say here.
No, a while back been on the channel. I was on the whole night. I was talking about a girl contacting me out of nowhere.
So I'll just grab that and I'll just cut that, copy it, and then paste it in here, right next to it, and then I'll drag it up. You do a lot of dragging stuff, and then see how like the end screen there the video goes a bit beyond, so I'll just cut that off, tail it. Now if we play through this,
You, lads and lasses.
it's a bit laggy right now.
For watching. Yes, baby. Got him.
It's all full. So I actually have a thing called, if we go to effects, presets, 1080p drop shadow. I'm just going to dump that in there. And it's got like a drop shadow border around it. So I just done multiple drop shadows around and whatever. This is my positioning for it. The scale is 52. That's it. That's all that is, man. Like I've just made a preset out of that. To make presets, all you have to do is like just say the video. You just have to select all the effects there and right click and go save preset. So Control A to select all the effects there and then save the preset. And then you can just dump them in whenever you want. So if we go through this again.
Like, comment if you want to say good day and subscribe if you want to see more of my content. And as always, thank you, lads and lasses, for watching. Yes, baby. Got him. Yeah,
There we
what's
go.
been happening with me, man? It's been a while.
And that would be the whole entire episode once I've edited it out. I'll be watching it all over again, all that jazz. But this has been my little tutorial for you. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. Enjoyed me rambling on for a while. I think the combined episode time was about an hour. But yeah, I'm gonna release. I would have released this both on the same day. And I digress. So if you've liked this little tutorial, just let me know. That'd be awesome. Give it a good old like. Comment if you want to say good day. And if you have any handy hints, man, put those in the comments below. Subscribe if you want to keep up to date with my Let's Plays. And if you want to see any other tutorials, just let me know. And as always, thank you, lads and lasses, for watching. It was like a 360 view thing, man, of him just playing Minecraft. And it was a nice April Fool's video, but I looked at his like second monitor of what he was recording, and I noticed that he had his face cam and Minecraft side by side in OBS. I'm just like, how the hell did he do that? So then I reverse engineered that, and from then on,